behind the entire squash movement in India, which you will hopefully see much more of as we move forward. We're very excited, very hopeful about that. So that's something we hope to see going forward. But let me start off a little bit about HCL. HCL, as you know, is a technology organization. It was set up by Shiv Nadar in 1976, and we have been working currently a $30 billion organization, working across the globe in various countries, with 2.5 lakh employees. So a very large distributed organization that we have. And what we like to believe in HCL, given the fact that we do so much work for so many different companies and so many very interesting, innovative solutions across the world, our thinking is that what we actually do, if you think about it at the heart of it, is we help multiply or maximize human potential. So the way we discuss our brand, and Rajat here, who's the head of the brand, and we thought about this many years ago, in fact, and thought about the fact that what is the core of HCL? So we feel that the core of the organization is all about multiplying or maximizing the potential of human beings. So that's how we think of ourselves. That's our journey. Yes, we do software, we do technology, we do healthcare, we do all of that. But at the core, it's all about multiplying human potential or maximizing human potential. Now, that's all very nice to say, but what does that really mean? So for that, we spent a lot of time thinking about how do we talk about, or how do you think about maximizing human potential? And what occurred to us was that there are 2-3 key fields where human potential is that's when you see potential when it comes out, really see it at the best. And that, I think, my friends, is sport. All of you are, I'm sure, followers of sport. Whatever be the sport, be it cricket, be it football, be it squash, there are moments in the sport where you can see the player sort of jumping out of his skin and proving himself beyond the normal reaches of what you expect him to do. I'm sure Harinder here, as one of our champions, has experienced. He may not have experienced it, but we, watching him, have experienced it many times. The value of the sports person in actually looking at what he does and actually taking the potential forward and making the complete difference in my mind from what we see as average and normal to something that's extraordinary. And so that is the core of what I call, to my mind, the relationship of sport with human potential. And so we, as HCL, we felt the best way to look at, to take our message forward, to take the brand message forward, was to look at sport and see what we could do to support sport and support specific sport, because there are so many sports, and obviously, as always, we can't support them all. But we felt it's important to choose some sports and actually work. Not just a matter of doing, say, one event or one initiative, but we actually work with the sports and not just whether it's a good and pure, actually good modern, but many more people to come. So with that conversation, part of the journey we come to bring Ireland and British back to the movement, where we try to work with them, really work with them things, and my mind on the journey. So that we can, what could we do? What could we do? And as you tell me, we can get the point of. I just wanted to say that the whole point is that the federation comes forward, thinks in terms of very forward federation. And so there's always positive thought in terms of not resting on one point, saying what we can do to take this foot forward, move on, and see what we can do to keep growing, keep doing better. So we just into some of that. What we do. The first program we said that the squash podium program. Their full point was how do we bring our players? And India players come to the podium, podium positions. And for that, so many activities. In terms of coaching and everything. Things that we have done thus far and what we would like to do going forward. But I think today is more about some completely new things or interesting things that we're doing. Maybe not new, but certainly interesting and certainly something that we want to take forward that we are planning right now. And I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to leave space for other people to dais to talk about that and tell you a little bit more about what exactly are we planning in terms of how do we take this sport forward. So quickly to summarize, HCL, we believe in maximization, maximizing of human potential.
squash as a sport is the one area we felt was really key and important for us to look at this. And we have been working with the SRFI from 2016 onwards. We hope to continue for quite some time. There's no end. There's no end game. There's no finish line, as Nike Post used to say. And so therefore we hope that as we move forward, we will take. Thank you for your attention. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Sundar, for reflecting on HCL's core philosophy, human potential multiplied. And when we talk about human potential multiplying, so how do we actually multiply? We collaborate with people, right? We associate with right kind of people. And there comes in the role of SRFI, Squash Rackets Federation of India. But before giving the dais to our respected spokesperson, Mr. N. Ramachandran, who is here today from SRFI, and Mr. Cyrus Pocha, before giving the dais to them, let's watch a short video on Squash Podium program that our team has prepared. It'll give you a brief overview of what the program is about. Can we have the video, please?
The Indian squash ecosystem is changing. Not just this, over the years, the number of Indian players in the PSA World Rankings has almost quadrupled. The realization of this dream began in 2019 when HCL and the Squash Rackets Federation of India joined forces to kickstart a 360-degree program to transform the squash ecosystem in India, a holistic and systematic program to bring deeper impact and help our players finish at the top of the podium in global sporting events. This program is called the HCL Squash Podium Program. Over the years, the program orchestrated rigorous action for Indian squash, which included high-performance camps for both junior and senior players, training camps for coaches and referees to elevate the standards, and organizing international PSA tournaments on home turf to improve rankings and provide for much-needed international exposure. In its new avatar, the Podium program is taking a lead to take the ecosystem to the next level by encouraging and identifying the next generation of squash players in the country through grassroots initiatives. While the program has a lot more to unfold, the waves it created are promising.
Thank you, Shivangi. As the video rightly reflected, that it is a role of, not only, as the video correctly reflected, human potential multiplied, and how SRFI, the players' dedication, and HCL, all of these factors have come together to actually bring together the success of squash in India. And someone rightly said that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And from SRFI, we have Mr. N. Ramachandran, who is a patron at SRFI, Squash Rackets Federation of India, who would like to speak more about HCL and SRFI's collaboration and the representation of squash at India and global level. So, Mr. Ramachandran, over to you.
Good afternoon, Sundar, Rajat, Cyrus, Harry. He is called Harry by all of us. And the media. Their video actually depicted all that I wanted to say and more. It has been a wonderful journey between SRFI and HCL, and all credit goes to HCL for having put up with us from 2016 till now. We are not an easy federation to please with the sponsor. And they have understood what squash is all about over these years. It is not just a player or a group of players doing well. They have gone into the entire range from the time when you're probably 10 or 11, and they want to take you all the way to being a champion in the world. which I'm reasonably certain with your support, we will, we might achieve it in 2028. We're keeping our fingers crossed, at least get onto the podium in some form. And that's the basic landmark which we are looking at. And if you trace the history and the development of squash over the last, say, 20 odd years, a lot of it has gone into what sets up a sport, what makes a sport deliver at the end of the day. In the earlier days when we used to play in Asia, now we always used to look at if you get into the quarterfinals, it's a big issue for us. And how do we maintain that all the way through till you have a champion? If you look at the last Asian Games, after athletics and shooting, we were the third largest federation, getting the maximum number of medals with the least number of events. We had 5 events, and all the 5 events we got medals. And I must say, accept and acknowledge the support that HCL has given us in that. If it had not been for HCL and we had to depend only on government or the state governments, which have also helped us, but not to the extent that a company, which is a large company, is able to come forward and do for any sport. We never used to have referees clinics. We had just one international referee. Now you have half a dozen. We don't need any foreigner to come into our country and want to, support us in any squash event, whether it's a coach, whether, we have any number of level 2 coaches today. We have any number of international referees today, both national, regional referees as well as world referees. So they have supported the ecosystem from behind. Now, while not only supporting the individual, they also supported the ecosystem behind every federation, which wants and has the desire and the will to go forward. And it has also set in a portion or a motion amongst the federation that if you do well, you will go up the ladder. There are no favorites. Performance alone matters, and performance with merit only matters in our federation. And that is how we are able to come across hordes of players. Harry, classic one is Harry. He's one of the oldest squash players, but was able to manage a gold medal in the mixed doubles in the last Asian Games. His entire life after 10 years or 11 years was spent in the academy. He lived in the academy. Even today, he's living in the academy. Although he's got a job on his own and he's married. He left his wife behind in Chandigarh and he's been here all his life. We're trying to change that, of course. He now works for the state government as a specialist coach. So that is what makes people or a company like HCL come to SRFI and help them. Not you find that in many other companies, they wish to sponsor a event and that's it at the end of the day. Here, HCL does not believe in such a program. They are either with you or not with you. So they are looking at the sport from a different angle altogether. How can we do it not only in Tamil Nadu, but in all the states? We are constantly asked, what is the development of the sports in the other states? How many courts do they have? Do we need to build more courts? What is their grassroots program? We have what you call, even from Goa, you are having a budding squash player. And seeing what has happened in Tamil Nadu, where you have private courts. Now everybody has started building squash courts. In most of the apartment blocks you see now, you will see at least 2 squash courts, not one, always 2. So you are having that development and the ecosystem, like I said earlier, towards building squash courts, building squash players, ensuring the referees come in, ensuring coaches get educated better. What more does a federation want? All you have to do is work hard and ensure that you do it well and properly. We don't have a league system like Kabaddi or the others, although many people have said that you should have a league system. other than cricket, where there's not so much of fighting in between. See, most of the some of the other sports federations which went to a league system didn't do so well after the initial success. So the people who run the federation should also have a level mind. They should not look at money all the time. They should look at how much you can bring glory to India. That is how a federation should be. Work hard, bring glory to India. You look at other countries in the world. Nicole David was world champion for 15 years. 15, sir? 9 years, world champion, but Asian champion for 15 years. Government supported them, and government got this PPP mode where they got Milo to support Nicole David. Nicole David was sent to the European circuit to play there right through summer. That's how she improved her game and was, world champion for 9 years and Asian champion for more than 15 years. We need to change our attitude towards sport. Don't look at just being an Asian champion for 1 year. What do you do after being an Asian champion is what one should look at. How do you provide them with job opportunities after they have finished playing for their country? This is what we are already in discussion with HCL on that issue. So a player, after giving all his worth, all his time and effort, what do you do to him? Will you just throw him out and get him to be on his own? No, that is not what the federation should do. And we are looking at all HCL. Basically, HCL says, what do you do after a champion a term is over, a time is over? This is what has attracted us to HCL also. It takes two to tango. And what we want is exactly what they want also. And at this time, what can I say? As patron of SRFI, I can only tell that it's been a wonderful relationship with HCL, and I wish my successors continue this relationship with HCL, and wish to thank HCL and all your colleagues for giving us this opportunity to partner with you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have with us Mr. Rajat Chandolia. He is an Associate Vice President of Brand at HCL, and he would delve more into the details of what new features have been added to the Squash Podium program. Rajat, over to you.
Thank you, Alicia. Good afternoon, people from the media. Mr. Ramachandran, thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you, Sundar. Thank you, Cyrus, and thank you, Harry. As Sundar and Mr. Ramachandran have already explained what the Podium program is all about and what this collaboration is all about, I would just straight away go into more details about the new additions that we have this year. And Cyrus, I would request if I have missed out on anything, please add into that. The first and foremost, given the recent success in doubles for Indian squash in Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, constant success. For the first time after I think 20 years, 2 decades, we are along with SRFI, we are relaunching the National Doubles Championship, which has started today in the Indian Squash Academy. It will go on till the 15th. That is the first event that we are doing, which we are kicking off. Then there would be a slew of events, PSA events. We are doing 5 this year, all supported by HCL, of course in collaboration with different hosts in different cities. So we are taking this to multiple cities, new cities, like Indore, Calcutta and Goa. Along with that, there would be a lot of junior events, the slams, all the 4 slams that we are doing. There would be Indian Junior Open this year. So all of that is happening as we go along, and it will run till March of next year. Then we are also now starting to build up a program for the next generation of squash players in India, which is, we call this a next gen program. The first activity that we are doing is for the budding players. We have identified some budding players along with Cyrus's inputs who have the potential to become the next champions. This is a 6-month long neurofeedback program to improve their cognitive skills, which we believe will help them in improving their performance off court, on court as well. It will improve their focus on, or rather, they can focus on their strengths and weaknesses, their mental strength, which also typically is an area of improvement for Indian athletes. So that we are kicking off very soon. Uh, Along with that, the last program that we are conceptualizing and implementing right now is a grassroots program, which is again building the next generation after the next generation. So we are trying to see maybe starting at the age group of 6 to 12, trying to popularize the sport, building more programs so that more people are aware, more players can come in, so that they also then start feeding into the entire talent system. So these are the overall things that we're doing. Apart from this, we also work on a lot of engagement activities, for the fans, the enthusiasts, and the players, of course, through some marketing activities. We did for the first time the broadcast of the Squash World Cup last year. So we're building that through so that the sport again becomes more popular, more visible. So I think that's about it. All these initiatives will run till 2025. The grassroots program, of course, will run as in beyond than that also. So that's where we are. So I think that's it from our side. I would request Cyrus to now talk about any further details.
Thank you, Rajat. Good evening, everybody. 2 decades ago, the SRFI set out with ambitious targets to win medals at the Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and World Championships. Today, I'm proud to say that we have successfully achieved these objectives. Our triumphs in winning the World Doubles titles and last year's gold medal performances at the Asian Games have firmly etched India's presence on the global squash map. This journey commenced in the year 2000 with the establishment of the Indian Squash Academy. And we've reached our pivotal moment with HCL's collaboration with SRFI since 2016, a partnership that has significantly contributed to our success. Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has supported us in our endeavors. In Tamil Nadu, the Sports Development Authority of Tamil Nadu has been promoting sporting events, including squash. HCL's unwavering support for our Squash Podium program has been monumental. It encompasses all organizing of national events and international events across the country. It's provided to our coaches. We've had sparring partners, coach development activities, and technological support. The Squash Podium program has gone from strength to strength every year, and we are adding a few more for the betterment of our athletes. Thank you, HCL. This collaboration, as we've been discussing, has helped our current national champion, for example, Velavan, who was 186 in the world, today is now 63. Abhay Singh has leaped from 144 to 73. These highlights the effectiveness of our program. Additionally, these prestigious accolades bestowed upon Joshna Chinnappa with the Padma Shri and Harinder Pal Singh Sandhu with the Arjuna Award validate our commitments to excellence. We are all very excited with the next generation program, the brain training program, grassroots development program. These initiatives will nurture the next generation of squash players and expand our sports reach. Finally, we are proud to announce the start of the National Annual Doubles Championships. This is fitting as we have won titles in the Commonwealth Games, World Doubles Championships, and Asian Doubles recently. In conclusion, with the upcoming LA Games on the horizon, squash's future appears promising. With our dedicated athletes, supportive partner, HCL, and relentless pursuit of excellence, we are sure we will achieve greater heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyrus. So as Rajat and Cyrus mentioned, that new or revamped squash podium program, HCL squash podium program, it has everything for everyone. So the new generation players will be trained. The grassroots level players will be explored from schools. There are events for professional and elite level players, and we also have programs and training modules for our coaches and referees. So we have everything for everyone in the squash ecosystem, and hence we are dedicated with this new program, revamped program, to transform the Indian squash. Now, moving forward, we have with us Mr. Harinder Pal Singh Sandhu, former national champion, Arjun awardee, and Asian Games gold medalist. Mr. Harinder, would you like to say a few words to our guests?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me, and it's a great honor for me to share the dais with all the senior personalities. So, thank you for having me. HCL has been supporting squash for the last 8 years now, and it has promoted squash from the grassroots level and through the continuous PSA events in the country. And from a player's perspective, I can say that I, as a player, has benefited massively through the HCL squash podium program and their continuous PSA events that happen almost every month in the country. And it was my personal journey 21 years ago when I moved here. It was only Mr. Ramachandran sir who supported me and all the other players at the personal level. You know, it was through his personal interest that he built the entire squash playing culture in the country. So thank you so much, sir, for your continuous efforts for more than 2 decades now. And it's also wonderful to see squash players now being supported by a very big corporate giant like HCL. So thank you very much to you, sir, for your continuous support. And squash, for the very first time, was included in the Khelo India Youth Games, and it was a good initiative of the Sports Development Authority of Tamil Nadu. I do hope it is a regular feature from now on, and it gives all the youngsters a very bright future to look up to. And as you all are aware, national doubles have started from today. I request you all to please come and watch the matches, as we have all the youngsters competing with the seniors. So you can see the mix of both experience and the youngsters. And yeah, just come and watch. And I request you all to please come and you can watch me also play from tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Is what we are looking at to start out with. So we have visited schools to identify the areas where we can conduct the program. So that process has already started. We've started it in Chennai. We've also done it in the NCR region also. We are already looking around.
So how many schools you are going to have tie-up?
So we are open to as many schools as possible. So we have started going one by one. We've visited 12 schools in both locations, and we hope to expand.
Is it open for both girls and boys?
Absolutely, yes.
Any more questions? Yes, on this side.
Hello, sir. So usually there are 4 tournaments. There will be 4 tournaments in the HCL SRFI India tour, if I'm not mistaken, right? So this time it's 5, right? Like sir said, it's going to be 5, right? And they are going to be, those tournaments are going to be held in new cities, is it?
So
new
the slams, we've got 4 slams, north, south, east, west, and along with it, we've got the Indian Junior Open, which also has a PSA event. So that's why it becomes 5. 5 international events.
5 PSA
yes.
tournaments.
In addition to that, we've got the senior national championships as well.
Yeah.
So 6 events.
Until last year, it was 4 PSA events, right?
Yes. So this year there's 5 PSA.
5, and they'll be held in new venues.
Yes.
Okay.
To add to that, when we started off, we had only about half a dozen events. Now we do on an average 50 plus events in a year in various locations, not just Tamil Nadu alone, in all the states. About 50, more than 50, 57 we did one last year. And also, you have the closed state championships for each state. We have now, for I think SRFI has 24 states and 2 union territories. In each of that, you have only state events also, where the state event, nobody from outside the state can come and participate. It's a closed state event. That's the best way to bring up the event, because for example, if we do a nationals in Chennai, not many people will come because they know who are going to be the winners. But when you do a state event, you have that the little boys and girls will come up.
Sir, one question here. So generally, there is an understanding or misunderstanding that unlike the other modes of sport, squash hasn't received its due mileage. Now that the floodgates have been opened and a lot of things are happening, events are also forthcoming. How do you look at the future of the sport in the coming decade?
If you look at the existing situation today, you have had a ball boy from the Madras Cricket Club being turned into a level 2 coach. His English is not great, but as a coach, he's super. So, likewise, you have referees today. Like I said earlier on, there was only one international referee. Today, there are nearly more than a dozen referees, and I think 2 world referees. With this type of ecosystem which HCL is bringing in, they are bringing in company practices into a sport, which is not very easy. Let me tell you that. Because a company has a different viewpoint, the federation might have a different viewpoint. But a mix of both is ideal for a federation. And we are reasonably certain in the decade you said, we will have a world champion. I assure you that.
Thank you.
Sir, on the part of grassroots squash, is there any plan for going to the tier 2 cities too for the talent hunt rather than Chennai?
In Tamil Nadu, even in tier 3 cities, we are getting players who are well above the average.
Is there any plan in your?
Certainly, as Mr. Ramchandran said, and this is something I'm advocating to everyone. This year, we had a junior national champion, girls under 13 from Jharkhand. If you had asked me this 5 years ago, I would have, we wouldn't have dreamt of such a thing. But we got a national champion. So certainly, it's been spreading across the country. And not only in the metro cities, it is tier 2, tier 3 cities. Squash is really developing across the country. So it's a very positive state. Yeah. We have a 16-year-old player, Anahat Singh, who participated in the Commonwealth Games. She was one of the youngest. She went on to the Asian Games, won medals at the Asian Games, is the top 8 in the World Junior Championship. So development is certainly there, and we hope we have more. Here we have 1 or 2. Our idea is to have a factory of them.
So when is this going to happen? Like, is there any time? When is this talented hunt going to happen?
We've already started, and it's going to, of course, it's in order to bring in so many people and get all the grassroots, it is going to take time, but we've already started, so we are on our way.
Initially we are starting, we've looked at doing in 2 cities in north and south. We want to start, we are piloting these projects. We are going to corporation schools. We will also go to some private schools, but our aim is to try and bring in the masses. So we bring in the masses, identify them, then bring them to a squash facility where they can actually play. And that's where HCL is looking at supporting us to be able to send these players to play in events. So that's what our current plan is.
I'm targeting on LA.
So that's of course another big hurdle for us. So we're really looking very excited that squash is finally got into the Olympics. It's been years of hoping to get there. So certainly with people like Amhe Singh, Belavan, Anand Singh, we see the future is there. A lot has to happen. They have to improve their rankings. They have to improve their game. over the next few years, it is possible. So we are looking forward.
Particularly capitalizing momentum of winning like in the what do you think about this thing to carry on?
Right. So our performance has been brilliant. But now we've got to get a new team because Saurabh, Joshna, Deepika, all of them in their 30s, getting on the other side. Saurabh, cycle, we will try and get better at it.